Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well and ready to talk about one of those updates that actually matters if you've ever had a weird problem with your NVIDIA setup that's specifically meant to address some pretty annoying issues that a bunch of folks were running into, especially if you use the NVIDIA app on your system. You might have noticed that sometimes the app just wouldn't start at all after an update, or it would behave strangely when you were trying to switch certain graphics settings. And this patch comes in to fix exactly those types of problems. Basically, if you were trying to launch the app and it just refused to open or crashed immediately, this hotfix is targeted squarely at that. It literally fixes the inability to launch the app, which was an issue reported by a fair number of users after the previous build went live. What's interesting here is that the update isn't about adding huge new features. It's more about stabilizing the experience and making sure things behave as they should. One of the standout fixes in this hotfix is related to Advanced Optimus and the MUX switch options on laptops. For those of you running NVIDIA GPUs in notebook configurations and using any sort of MUX switch setup, you might have seen the controls for switching graphics modes, like toggling between integrated and discrete GPU, either being grayed out or not responding correctly in certain scenarios. That was something that popped up for users in random conditions and made it frustrating to get the most out of their system, especially when performance or battery life really mattered. The hotfix aims to fix that, so those grayed out controls should now behave the way they're supposed to. It's a good example of NVIDIA listening to user feedback because these kinds of issues, not being able to open the app or having critical options unavailable, can really interrupt your workflow, your gaming sessions, or even just your everyday use of the PC. The update itself is pretty lightweight because it's just patching up the existing app rather than delivering a full-blown version release. NVIDIA released it as a standalone installer, so you don't even need to update your graphics driver if you don't want to. You can just apply the hotfix and keep running your current driver version, which is honestly pretty convenient if everything else on your system is working fine. One thing to keep in mind with this hotfix is that it isn't always pushed automatically to everyone through the regular update system. Some users notice that depending on your settings, especially if you're not on any beta channel, the update might not immediately appear. That means in some cases you have to manually download and install it yourself if you really want the fix right away. It's not complicated, but it's something worth knowing so you don't sit there wondering why your app still isn't working properly after hearing about the patch. Now, talking a bit about context here, because this is actually important. The NVIDIA app has become way more than just a simple driver manager. It's basically the central hub for things like graphics profiles, DLSS settings, performance tuning, game optimization, and system monitoring. So when that app stops working correctly, it feels like a big chunk of your GPU experience is missing. You can't easily tweak settings, you can't check updates smoothly, and sometimes you can't even launch certain tools without it. So when something like a launch failure happens, it's more than just a small inconvenience. This hotfix doesn't introduce brand new features, visual changes, or experimental options, but what it does is bring reliability back to where it should be. And for a lot of users, that's honestly more valuable than flashy additions. Stability is what keeps everything running smoothly in the background, and that's exactly what this update is trying to restore. It's also a reminder that even big companies like NVIDIA sometimes push updates that need quick fixes afterward, and what really matters is how fast they respond. Another thing worth mentioning is that NVIDIA has said that this hotfix will eventually be rolled into a future full release. So if you don't want to install it manually, you can technically wait. But if you were affected by the app not opening or by those broken MUX options, this update is probably something you'll want sooner rather than later. Overall, this is one of those quiet but important updates. It's not something that's going to change how your games look overnight or suddenly boost your frame rates by a huge amount. Instead, it's about making sure the software you rely on actually works the way it's supposed to. If you've been struggling with crashes, failed launches, or locked out settings, this hotfix is meant to clean all that up and get you back to a smooth experience. So, if you've been dealing with any of these problems, this update is definitely worth checking out. It's a solid step toward keeping the NVIDIA app stable, reliable, and usable, which is exactly what most users really want in the first place. Hope this gives you a clear picture of what this update is all about and why it matters. And I'll catch you in the next video with more updates and insights like this.